Hi, this is Walt, and this is a video about regluing this brace into that guitar. As you can see, the guitar is a classical style guitar. It has a Engelmann spruce top, ebony fretboard, a nice blue tinted rosette. The guitar has a walnut burl headstock as well as a walnut burl end graft. The guitar has ebony bindings along with a maple line. Back in the sides are a Bolivian rosewood, sometimes called Pau Ferro. The neck is mahogany with an ebony insert. As you can see, the guitar is mostly completed, although the bridge yet has to be applied. Also, the headstock ramp needs to be put in place, and the neck needs to be shaped and fitted. It was about this point in the construction of the guitar when I noticed a slight buzz when the guitar was tapped. I localized the culprit to the top braces, and as I checked the individual top braces, when I got around to the lower bottom strut, I touched it with a one time and it fell off, and here's the culprit right there. To give you a visual of the problem, here's an overlay of the fan bracing on the underside of the top, and the black lines are the fan braces, and the red line corresponds to the brace that fell off. And as Murphy's Law would have it, that brace is as far away from the sound hole as it can be. Okay, here we are looking into the interior of the guitar, and you can clearly see in the back that would be the treble side rear fan strut back there, and its counterpart over here is clearly missing, which is the bass side bottom fan strut. Looking into the mirror on the bottom of the guitar, you can see, if you look closely, the yellow line, which was the glue line for that bass side rear fan strut. So, in the process of trying to decide how I was going to glue this brace into that guitar, I decided I would need some kind of clamping system. So I first hit upon an idea here where I'd build a little wooden holder, insert the brace, and then develop a clamping system so that the fret could be put all the way to the back of the guitar. Because it's a long reach and I don't have any long metal clamps, I looked into first building an articulated version that could go in, but decided that was going to be not really feasible because of once we glue this, you'd have to be wiggling it around inside the guitar a lot. It's a good chance it'd bump against something and then fall off. Secondly, it's not exactly really stable, so it tends to wobble quite a bit. So I was, decided against this approach. I looked at another scheme where I would be able to insert this bottom section of the clamp in two pieces. This would have been in a holder fixed up here. That would allow me to insert these separately and then screw them together, and then I'd come back and screw the top on and have a nice C-clamp here. But again, the time it would take to assemble the clamp while the glue was on the fret, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get things done quick enough. Plus, this is bulky enough that it just doesn't allow for much good sighting through the sound hole when this is in the way. So I finally bit the bullet and bought one of these scissors jacks from Stewie Mac. It's a clever little device. Scissors jack, just like many people use to jack up their car. This has the advantage that you can put magnets on the top and the bottom. One magnet on the bottom I will combine with this, and I can actually then guide it into place through the back of the guitar. So there's another magnet on top, which I've just double-sided taped into the hole, and I made a holder for the fret, which is basically a small piece of band saw blade from a hacksaw, and a short piece of what turns out to be carbon fiber from an arrow, which I broke, and so I can get little pieces off of that, and then you can carve the carbon fiber with a knife so that I can get a nice friction fit on my fret, so it'll slide in there and hold positively, but when it's time to come out, it will come out without taking the magnet with it. So that's the approach we're going to take. So I'm going to be able to slide this in by hand. Mostly. So the plan is to insert this by hand, just like this. Add the carefully add the brace and the brace holder onto the magnet. Get it in there without getting glue all over the guitar, and then work it back by hand at least 2/3 of the way, principally over the back braces, which I can do by hand, and then catch it with a magnet on the back side, and then actually slowly pull it into the exact location. And I will be augmenting the location by a couple of magnets on the top side, which I can then use to actually bump up against the brace so that I can locate it precisely where it is to go. The next step will be to practice that a couple of times to make sure it can run smoothly enough to get the job done. And obviously, once I do it for real, I won't be videotaping it, as I will need all of my hands for other things. So here's the brace, finally glued into place. You can see right there in the middle that I missed slightly on the gap. Where did it go? Oh, there we are. And I missed slightly on the gap, connecting the two together, but otherwise it is glued into place fairly accurately. So on balance, I'm happy that I've completed it, and I see that I got a little bit of glue on that upper brace there when I was inserting things, and there might be a little bit of a smudge there, but all in all, I'm generally pleased, and the thing is back and glued solidly in place.